Hi guys, today's the day I get my wheelchair. Um, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, obviously, but it's not a 7-month waiting period either. My doctor, according to the letter that I have from the insurance company, my doctor put in the request on the 29th of December. It is now the 10th of January. They have approved the outpatient service of durable medical equipment rental of a lightweight wheelchair, and it is approved until October 28th, 2018. Um, it's a victory and then not a victory at the same time. It's a victory because I finally get to have, a properly lightened wheelchair instead of a kid's wheelchair that Jesse, my husband, had trash picked and adjusted for me. Um, the other thing about it is that the medical insurance is paying for it all for me to have this. So it's good on that end. It's also good that I was able to actually call the the people who are providing the service and request a few things. The side rails, excuse me, the handrails on the side of the wheelchair are to be able to be removed, as well as me having a smaller size because of my height, of and it only being 18 inches, so it should be able to fit through regular doorways without having to have specialized doorways for when I'm having trouble. The other thing that's going on is that um, it is hard when you have state insurance like I do. And I've heard the discussion brought up on many boards about the medical insurances and how difficult it can be. I have been lucky, but not lucky. I've been lucky in the fact that I've been able to get almost everything that I need. With that being said, trying to get feeds taken care of so that I can have a drink to have each day to try and boost my intake of vitamins with having the drink, that has been difficult, and we have not gotten that approved yet because we have not found a distributor until I called the medical supply company today and found out that they also do feeds. So I'm going to see if we can go that route. The other thing with the state insurance is there's a lot of negativity, I think, that's brought out when people are ill. The negativity that's brought out is you're not sick enough to get this, you're not this to get this, you don't meet the qualifications. When you have state insurance, the qualifications are generally twice as hard to get through as the qualifications of a regular insurance that is paid for out of pocket. That being said, having a rare disease, such as I do, which is Ehlers-Danlos hypermobility type, there's a lot of misunderstanding. And I call it a misunderstanding because until they are taught or explained to or have some understanding of what is needed for somebody like me, doctors mostly don't know. Insurance companies mostly don't know. Even when you're under what's listed as special needs, they just don't know. So taking the time to not only explain yourself and your illness, but to explain it in a way that is not being angry with them. I've seen and heard many times where people have just gone off on insurance company workers, doctor's offices, things like that, or even that they wanted to go off and they voiced their opinion rather loudly on social media and things. What I have come to find is that the people who work for the insurance company, one, it's not their fault. They just don't know. So in having a lack of knowledge, when you scream at them, you're not teaching them. It's that simple. When you scream and shout and cuss and all this, you're not taking the time to teach them anything. And that's where a lot of people are like, oh, but how can you say that? Well, they're people. They are humans. They are just like us. Pointing a finger and saying that they're the cause of the problem doesn't always work. Because in all reality, the people who you talk to over the phone about the insurance, they have no idea. They have no way of changing it. So things have to go through the proper chain of command to get to where they need to. But when you're yelling instead of teaching somebody, one, they're less likely to help you, and two, you're just going to make yourself upset. So I'm very happy to be able to bring the news to you that my wheelchair is coming today. I'm also very happy to be able to say that we finally found a medical supplier that I could potentially use for many more things. And it's great. It's not anybody's fault that things didn't happen sooner. They happened in the time when they are needed the most. Might not be when I thought they were needed the most. Believe you me, it's definitely not. I would have rather have had this last year around this time versus this year around this time. So it does raise a bit of a victory dance that I would love to be able to do, but I know that if I tried to dance, I'd probably throw something out, and that would not be good. So I'm just going to accept this victory of getting a rental wheelchair and basically just run with it. I wish there was a way that I could explain to the insurance company that if they had a wheelchair built for me, all I would want them to do is pay for maintenance. Not get a new chair every 5 years like the insurance company says that they'll do once you have a wheelchair built for you. I just want to have a wheelchair that works. I don't care that it's a rental now. I'm just wanting something that works with me. Something I can use on my own. Something that allows me to have freedom. And that's what I'm most happy about right now. So I probably will be linking this video with a video explaining about my wheelchair since I'm so overly excited. Or I may just put this up and then do the next video about my wheelchair when I have more time and potentially have a cameraman, my husband, behind the camera. So I will talk to you guys later, and hopefully I will link it to this video or have it that it's synced up and you just see me in a few seconds presenting my wheelchair. So, alright, thank you again. Please remember that I don't put videos out all the time, and the reason is because sometimes I don't have the time. Sometimes it's me taking care of myself, and that is the biggest job that I have to do, and that is what I focus on. I do have other videos on my channel. Way back when, my channel was mainly about Avon. And then I got my diagnosis. And it flipped my world upside down. This time last year, I was waiting on paperwork. I was waiting to see a geneticist. In fact, tomorrow is 1 year since I saw the geneticist. And had the blood test done to check, and it ruled out the other things they were working on testing me on. So then I received my diagnosis by default, as well as having the secondary diagnosis of having a hypermobile spectrum disorder. No, spectrum disorder or spectrum syndrome, something along that line. So please remember that things do take time, especially medical things, and that you need to take time for yourself. You need to take time to think about what's going to happen and the road that you're going to go down. And it has been a definite wild ride, because this time last year I actually was not married to my husband. We were in a relationship that was lasting 4 years. And then after my diagnosis, 2 months later, we were married. I think my diagnosis prompted him to understand that he wanted to show me how he was going to be there forever. And I very much so appreciate that. So, without further ado, I will let you guys go off of this video and maybe link you up to the next one. So hopefully you'll be seeing me in a few seconds. Please subscribe to my channel to see more videos about what I have gone through so far with my diagnosis, and how this first year of diagnosis has been a catch-up year where we were behind the ball on everything and had to hurriedly catch up. So I will talk to you guys later, and as always, please remember that your health is the first thing you need to think about. Whether it be mental health or physical health, it's not selfish to take time for yourself. Hi guys. Okay, so not sure if I'm going to actually be attaching the video that I made the day I was getting my wheelchair, but I finally did get my wheelchair. At first I was a little nervous about it, because I thought that with the insurance company telling me it's just a rental, I got really concerned. But after reading through all of the paperwork for the rental, I'm kind of happy they have it as a rental. But anyhow, so this is my wheelchair right here. Alright, so it has the seat belt right here, and then I have my cushion, which is nice and thick for me to sit on. These foot pedals are actually the heaviest thing on the entire wheelchair, or just these, because these are actually made with metal. The wheels are actually plastic, so the grips right here are slightly textured, which makes it a lot easier to use. Plus, with them being plastic, they don't get frigidly cold. So I'm very happy with it. They did have the handles. See, right here is the hookup in the back, and then right here is the hookup in the front. So we took them off. So there's the hookup in the front. And then these brakes, they're the flat kind. I'm so used to the round kind, so these ones are a little harder to do. But compared to my other wheelchair, this wheelchair is super light. In fact, I'm going to actually show you how light the wheelchair is. So I can actually pick it up, and as you see, the only part that actually weighs me down is the foot pegs. It does have the anti-tip, which is very helpful. And then with this back here, it's actually a false back. It is just all of this. It has a little pocket here, but it is quite literally just Velcroed in. So you see the other side? It's Velcroed in, and it's super comfortable. I got so used to being in a bigger wheelchair than this one, and I love the way they put it. They hemied it for me because of how tiny I am. So it is only an 18-inch across seat compared to the 22, which is the normal size. So basically, when I'm sitting in the chair, I can actually go through doorways that don't have to be adjusted for a wheelchair. The other thing, and this was a big one, and I know how a lot of people are probably going to be like, what? If you have ever been in a wheelchair and you're going shopping at a grocery store and you know how those aisles are, or even a little convenience store. I was at Rite Aid when this happened, so their aisles are a little smaller. I was actually able to sit in my chair, look at what was on the shelf for me to shop like a normal person, and people were able to go around me. I wasn't taking up the whole aisle. And honestly, my husband had to chase me around the store because since I have this newfound freedom, I was just zipping around and going everywhere where I wanted to look, just like a normal person again. And it it was very liberating. I didn't think having a wheelchair with no armrests would be such a big deal, but in combination with it being lighter, in combination with it having like almost like a shock absorber under the seat where it folds, um, being able to push it myself without needing assistance all the time, and having it that when I sit in it, I'm actually taller than what I sit when I'm like here on the couch. I'm actually raised up on the wheelchair, so it's almost like I'm standing. And I don't think people who've never had to use wheelchairs really have a solid grasp. I mean, it's different when you're at the hospital and you're using a hospital chair because those are all metal. They're meant to be beat up. They are meant to like last forever. So the maintenance on them is minimal. This one has minimal maintenance as well, where I'm supposed to wipe off the metal for the footrest. I'm supposed to clean off the wheels once a week and inspect for cracks. And then there's a bolt for the big wheels, and I'm just supposed to tighten that every so often if it gets loose. But other than that, it's super easy. My oldest child, my son who's 16, he actually took me to the grocery store on Sunday, and I was using my chair. We were able to take off the footrest like you do a normal chair and fold it up, and it actually fit in one standard seat spot with it folded down. It laid completely flat, no bumping into other things and stuff like that, because when it's folded, it's just this big, and it's not. It. I don't really know how to describe when it's almost like you lost a bunch of weight and now you're getting used to being skinny. That's what it's like with this chair for me. I never thought that being in a wheelchair to go outside was going to be extraordinarily comfortable, but with this chair, it has the cushion in the back, and then this cushion up here has the memory foam and the gel, and the whole thing's waterproof. It kind of allows me to be me. Now, I did get this bag that was recommended by Christina from her channel. I think I got a smaller one than what she has, honestly. But the pouch in the bag is big enough to hold an IV bag, and the front can hold a pump in the next pocket, and then the very front can hold little things. I currently right now have my to-go stuff in here for emergency care for me so that it's directly on me instead of being on my wheelchair in case I'm, out somewhere and I don't need to use the wheelchair. But most of the times when I go out now, I'm actually using the wheelchair, and I'm getting out to places that originally I couldn't because of me not feeling well and me getting fatigued and everything. And a trip in this when we went to Rite Aid was just absolutely amazing. Like, and even for like my backyard, it's dirt up to the parking area. So with it being so cold, the dirt was frozen, obviously, but my son was able to push me in this to his car. So it made a huge difference. I was actually really scared about going through the yard, thinking, "Oh God, this is going to be a wreck." But no, it wasn't. So it was just another one of those things that you tally up, going, "Yes, finally something worked." Um, I don't really, I never really thought about the difference that it could make because I was so used to just using a secondhand clunky metal wheelchair where I had like a pocket that I sewed to the armrest and a cup holder, and then I would always have my blankets on me, but I never had a seatbelt like this one does. And I was always worried that I was gonna like get bumped out of my cart, basically. But with this, it's super easy to just feel secure. And even with these foot pedals in the back here, it's a fabric loop. So instead of having like a hard metal piece or a plastic piece, it is a fabric loop. And these footrests can be adjusted to go down further or up. I actually have them on the highest thing up because of my height. Um, I'm basically, a walking, talking dwarf. But with being the size that I am, I'm used to being sized for children's things. So this is the first piece of medical equipment that isn't a hybrid of adult bracing or something one part and child the other part. It's all just one unit that fits me. So I was pleasantly surprised. And we do joke around about that the company that makes this wheelchair is Drive. It is called a Cruiser 3, and the fact that they had to Hemi it for my size. So, needless to say, we have a good inside joke with the medical equipment. So basically, if you can't laugh at your medical equipment or make a funny joke, it basically doesn't feel like it's me. So I did not name the wheelchair because it's a rental. So I know a lot of my friends who name their medical equipment. But I'm just so happy with this. Like, I can do everything on it myself. And I don't need that extra help. So having that independence back really takes it to a whole new level. I've been super excited when I first was getting it, and now that I've had it for a little over a week and seeing just a hint of what it can do, I'm super thrilled. So at some point in time, if the weather stays warm, I'm going to take this out Pokemon hunting just so I can, get out there and do things again that I want to do. So we're just still trying to figure out how to use this pouch when I'm sitting to actually hold my phone as well. So once we figure that out, then I will be cruising along everywhere with this thing. So, alright guys, well that is what I got from my insurance company as a rental wheelchair. It is through Montgomery Medical Supplies because Health Partners Insurance um, is not widely being accepted anymore, but we were able to do this with them and their group, and my rheumatologist played a big role in getting this. I think if my rheumatologist was not as adamant about the fact that I need to have my independence to be able to go to the pharmacy to get my medications on my own and things like that, I don't think I really would have gotten it. So, kudos to good doctors. So that is how it went. It did not take me a long time, actually. I thought it was going to take me longer. I did watch Life with Stripes video on her wheelchair, and it gave me a basis to go off of to have the open discussion with my doctor about the fact that I have been losing my independence and that I want to fight like hell to have it back. I do the physical therapy like I'm supposed to. I wear the braces that I'm supposed to wear. But there's just that missing piece that sometimes, bad weather hits and I get really achy, or I do too much and all of a sudden I can't use one of my limbs. This has made it just super easy. The other thing is with the anti-tilt, um, getting up and down off of curbs used to be like a big thing. I used to get jostled so hard that I would throw out either my knee or my hip because I would get tossed in the cart. With this one, not only does the buckle help with that, but the anti-tip actually makes it that it's a smoother transition, I guess, would be the easiest way to say it, to get up and down off of the curbs with me being pushed by my husband. Um, Even going on a brick sidewalk, I didn't have nearly as much trouble as I had before. So I'm very, very impressed with this. I wish I could keep it. I wish I could find some way to like write a letter to be able to keep it. But when that time comes when I have to give it back, um, I'll see what other doctors I have can do about me being able to keep it, using it and have it for another rental, because it is absolutely amazing. The most comfortablest thing. I mean, the cushion right here is literally like a mattress. Um, the lighter gray part is textured, so it has grip on the seat right here, which is just flat fabric. It has handlebars on either side right here, so that when you go to close it, you can easily just grab it. And like I said, it's just the most amazing thing to me, because you never really know how much you're missing until you get the right equipment. And now that I have this, which was something that I desperately needed, and I have the right equipment and the right way to use it, I've read the manual to know how to take care of it. It's just a big open door for me to be able to do things again. And I'm overwhelmed with the fact that, now I can do things. I was messing around so bad. I have not done any wheelies. But oh gosh, are they tempting. But yeah, I'm quite surprised. It can turn a lot easier than the other one as well, and I can spin it easier when I'm sitting in it. So it is just the most comfortablest thing that I've had, as well as being the most useful. And until you get the right equipment that works with how your body works, the problems that you're facing, and the way that you live, like just the things that you do, it can be difficult. But when that right piece of equipment comes along, it just is a total game changer for everything. So, all right, well, that is what I have to say about my wheelchair. Um, Thank you again to Christina Daughtry, who recommended this bag. And thanks again to Life with Stripes for actually explaining how she went about and got her wheelchair built for her and the time it took for that to happen. Her video on how she got her wheelchair was the big thing for me, because I learned so much from watching a 16-year-old talk about how she got her wheelchair to me actually getting mine as a rental because I'm over the age of 18. So it was just, it, it gave me a lot of information that I needed, and I was able to explain to my doctor exactly what I needed, why I needed it, and how I was going to use it. And the doctor was able to put that into the notes to the insurance company to get it pre-authorized. So just always look on things with like a bright face, for it. Just find something to be happy about each day. And I think for the entire time I have this wheelchair and me getting around, this is what I'm going to be happy about. So, alright guys, bye.